Welcome to Construction Genius. My name is Eric Anderton, and today we're going to talk about how to attract your ideal clients using educational marketing. I don't know about you, but as I sit through an entire whodunit film, one of those mystery films, I'm completely clueless most of the time if the criminal is the butler, the maid, or the professor. And the same is true for many construction companies when it comes to marketing. They know it's something they should do, but they struggle to figure out exactly what marketing is, who to market to, and what their message should be. It's all a big mystery. And that's why today we're going to talk about how to attract your ideal clients using educational marketing. And there's three things we're going to focus on. Number one, how to identify your ideal clients. Second, how to figure out why they buy. And then third, how to craft a targeted marketing message to get more ideal clients. This is Eric Anderton, and you're listening to Construction Genius, a leadership masterclass. Thomas Edison said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. If you're a construction leader, you know all about the perspiration, and this show is all about the 1% inspiration that you can add to your hard work to help you to improve your leadership. So I'd like you to think about your company in terms of a funnel. And at the top of the funnel, the first thing you need to do, you have to attract people to your organization. Then you have to sell work. Then you have to plan the work, build the work, and get paid. That's what all construction companies have to do, right? They have to attract people, they have to sell the work, they plan the work, build the work, and get paid. And if you think about that whole process as a funnel, then you'll get this analogy of garbage in, garbage out. So if you put garbage at the top of the funnel, you're going to get garbage out. Look at the projects that you're currently building at the moment. How many of those are you struggling on? And as you reflect upon that, think about how many of those projects are either the wrong project type or the wrong client or the wrong location. And as you trace back why you're doing that work, you might find that in the marketing and the sales stage of your activities, it was a little bit of garbage in. And as a result of that, you're getting garbage out. And in this particular podcast episode, we're going to focus in on the top part of the funnel. And by the way, if you're listening to this audio version of the podcast, I've done a PowerPoint with the video version of the podcast. So you can go out to YouTube and check out the PowerPoint presentation along with the video. And that maybe will give you some help in terms of these visuals. I'll put a link in the show notes. So as you're thinking about the top of the funnel is all about how you attract people and how you sell work. And let's just go to the very top of the funnel. And there's four parts to it. There's this idea of awareness, interest, decision, and then action. And awareness is all about how someone knows about your business. Interest is how they contact your business and begin to interact with your business. Decision is how they engage with your business. And then action is how they choose your business. And sales and marketing is all about awareness, interest, decision, and action. And for the purpose of this podcast, we're going to focus on the first two, awareness and interest. So how people get to know about your business and how they begin to engage with your business or contact your business, okay? That's what marketing is all about. Now, hope is not a strategy when it comes to marketing. Marketing is all about getting the right client with the right project in the right location to contact you, okay? Hope is not a strategy. What you need is a specific kind of direction. You need some persistence and hard work. And if you put those all together, then you're going to come across success. All right, now let's dive into the content of the episode. How to attract your ideal clients using educational marketing. All right. First thing, how to identify your ideal clients. Let me ask you this question. What is the purpose of a business? What is the purpose of a business? Now, there's many answers to that question, perhaps, but the most important one to begin with is this. From Milton Friedman, he said the purpose of a business is to maximize profits for the owners and shareholders. So let me ask you another question. Why do construction companies fail to maximize profits? Well, they do it for three reasons. This is why they fail. Number one, they have the wrong clients. Number two, the wrong projects. And number three, the wrong locations. And again, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, garbage in, garbage out. So how do construction companies maximize profits? Well, they have the right clients, they build the right projects in the right locations. It's pretty simple. However, it's easy to say, it's tough to do. And how can you solve the problem of building the wrong projects for the wrong clients in the wrong locations? Well, one of the ways to solve that problem is to really dial in your marketing efforts so that you are attracting the right jobs from the right clients in the right locations. And one of the ways that you need to do this as an executive team, and I recommend that if you've never done this or if you're not clear on this, you sit down and you meet with your executive team in the next 30 days and figure out what are the right jobs, what are the right clients, and what are the right locations. Here's a very simple tool that you can use. It's a matrix. And by the way, I'm going to share a link in the show notes to where you can download the tool that I'm going to talk you through. And again, if you're listening on audio, you'll get a good visual of it on the video. But let me just walk you through. First, you have to identify your criteria. So let's say you are identifying what the right job is for you. You might break down a variety of criteria, such as we have a relationship with the GC or the subs involved in the project. We have estimating experience. You might make a criteria on job complexity and job length. Perhaps you love complex projects that last 1 or 2 years. You might analyze the competition. Perhaps you're in a very competitive environment and you don't mind that because you stack up well against the competition, or perhaps you want a job type that's rather unique. You may think of it in terms of meeting equipment requirements, having the labor force in place, having a good project history. Whatever the criteria is, you want to be able to clearly identify it. All right. And then you want to force rank that criteria. So if you have, let's say, 10 criteria that make up a good job for you, you want to force rank it from 1 to 10. So the number 10 is the most important criteria, and the number 1 is the least important criteria. So force rank your criteria and then score your criteria from 1 to 10. So each criteria should be force ranked and each criteria should be scored, and then you'll have a score from that ranking. So for instance, let's say having a relationship with the GC or the sub, you force rank that as a 3, and a particular job type that you build, you give that a score of a 10, then the total score will be 30. And then what you want to do for each job type is add up the total score, and that will tell you, based on which job type has the highest score, which jobs are sort of the sweet spot for your organization. Again, download the tool that's in the show notes. This will become very, very clear. I'm having a bit of a challenge explaining it, but if you look at the video, download the tool, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You want to go through that exercise with your key executive team. So you're on the right page, on the same page rather, for job type, client type, and location. Because you see, there is a wrong way to do marketing and a right way to do marketing. Let me explain to you what the wrong way is. It's the eager beaver way of marketing, where you're out there and you're just saying yes, yes, yes to everything. That is the wrong way to do marketing. And unfortunately, that is the way that I see many construction companies do marketing. We do this, we do that, we do the other thing. Yes, yes, yes. And they never nail down their marketing message. And that's why the right way to do marketing is being laser focused, dedicating all of your marketing efforts to right job, right location, right client. Now, you may have an objection that you have more than one answer to that right job, right client, right location. Well, let me tell you a story about one of the world's top selling brands for many, many years. And that brand is Marlboro. Okay. Now, I know cigarette smoking is not popular anymore, but Marlboro will give you a great lesson in marketing. You see, Marlboro began as a woman's brand, and their tag was mild as May. And this was in the 1920s and the 1930s. And at that time, Marlboro was a filtered cigarette and always was a filtered cigarette. And they were perceived, filtered cigarettes, as being rather feminine in nature. And they had less than 1% of the marketing share. And then at the end of the 1940s and into the 1950s, they made a switch. They made a switch to marketing the cigarette, the Marlboro cigarette, to men. And they began by marketing it with people like sea captains, weightlifters, war correspondents, construction workers. And so they began to niche into focusing on men. And then they began to hit on the iconic look of the Marlboro brand, which was the cowboy. Now, isn't that interesting? Because when I say Marlboro, you don't think of mild as May, and you don't think of weightlifters, sea captains, war correspondents, or construction workers. You think of the Marlboro man, the cowboy. Now, think about this. Marlboro became the world's largest selling cigarette brand. And in less than a year, or within a year from switching from the Mild as May campaign to the Marlboro campaign, they went from less than 1% to the fourth best-selling brand. And what's interesting is that they became more and more popular the more narrow they got with their marketing message. And this is a fundamental thing for you to understand, is the narrower you get with your marketing message, the more powerful that marketing message becomes. And think about it. Marlboro cigarettes were the world's top selling cigarettes. How many cowboys do you think smoked Marlboro? Perhaps there were many, but there were way more non-cowboys who smoked Marlboro. And yet the whole Marlboro marketing message was that cowboy image. It was extremely niched and it was extremely successful. Okay, so we've talked about how to identify your ideal clients. Now, this is really key right here. We're going to talk about how to figure out why they buy. And again, let's go back to the eager beavers in terms of marketing. The way they begin their marketing offers is this: we need some money. We need to get some profit and some cash flow into the business. So we're just going to go out and offer our construction services to any kind of clients who might be able to buy. That's how the eager beavers, that's how the failures, so to speak, in marketing go about their efforts. The successful marketers begin with the client. They focus on the client, the client, the client. And once they get to know their client really, really well, they sculpt and shape their offer based on their client's needs. Now, of course, they align that with the types of projects they're able to execute, but they're smart. They go out and talk to the clients and figure out why they buy, shape the wording of their offer and the marketing of their offer around those answers. And then they make those offers, and that's where the money comes. So I want you to think about your clients for a moment. Why do they buy your construction services? What pain are they seeking to avoid from engaging with you? Or what pleasure are they seeking to gain? And this is why people purchase any kind of service or product, is to get pleasure or to avoid pain. And if you think about it in construction services, which is more predominant? Is it the pleasure aspect or the pain aspect? In my experience, it's the pain, because GCs or owners purchase construction services so that the GCs or the subs will take away their pain associated with quality, with service, with schedule, or with safety. They want that pain to go away. Do you understand the reasons your clients purchase construction services? If you don't have a crystal clear answer to that, it's going to be reflected in your marketing efforts. And remember what we've talked about earlier: garbage in, garbage out. So I want to introduce you to what's called the avatar marketing method. And I want to give a shout out to Clay Collins. He's the CEO of a company named Lead Pages. He's the inspiration for much of this portion of the podcast. And when I say the avatar marketing method, I don't mean the Avatar movie. The avatar marketing method is a decision-making framework. And it works for you if you're a subcontractor or a general contractor. So let me explain it to you in a little bit of detail. The avatar marketing message focuses in, or framework rather, focuses in on understanding client emotions. And once you understand those emotions, you can then create marketing campaigns around those emotions. And then you can advertise specifically and market specifically around those emotions. Remember, people buy services and products, for the most part, driven by their emotions, and then they justify those purchases based on their logic. Okay? So you've got to be able to understand those emotions and craft your marketing messages around those. So how can you do that? Well, I've got a very simple way for you to do this. Number one, you make a list of your top core clients that you either have now or you would like to engage with. And then you know what you do? And this list can be 5 clients, it could be 10. You pick up the phone and you call them and you request, or you send them an email, that you can interview them. You can interview them and actually record the interview, because what you're going to do is something that is extremely powerful. And this really revolutionized my business. When I did this with some key construction leaders, it changed my whole business, because I began to hear from them why they purchase my types of services: executive coaching, leadership development, sales development, marketing development, why they purchase those services. And I began to craft my marketing message around those words and those emotions, and my business took off as a result of it. Now, you may not know how to do this, but what you do is you get into these interview situations and you ask them a variety of questions. What is your gender? What is your age? What is your race? What is your family structure? What is your income? What is your religious orientation? What is your political orientation? And you begin to touch on some sensitive matters, right? And you may have an objection to this, but I'd like to give you a simple illustration. Excellent marketers do this all the time. And they don't do it so that they can discriminate against people. They do it because they want to understand why their target market buys. They want to understand their target market specifically, and they want to craft their messages around that target market. And I'll give you an example. This is a picture of the Subaru Crosstrek 2021, and I'm going to link in the show notes to an advertisement that is deeply, deeply insightful into this particular topic. Now, it's an ad where this couple, they are describing what apparently is their children, but in actuality, it is the 3 Subarus that they own. Now, this ad is tongue-in-cheek, but this couple, they're white, they're in their early 30s. They're not really sexy. They're kind of schlubby in a certain way. They have no kids, but they have 3 Subarus. Now, think about that for a moment. And again, it is kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it is specifically targeted. Check out the link in the show notes to see the ad and ask yourself this question: how targeted is my marketing? And let me give you an example of a few more questions that you may be able to ask folks. Market kind of questions. What kind of construction solutions are you actively looking to buy? What are your biggest fears or frustrations prompting you to look for a solution? With regards to a construction project, what's your ideal outcome and how do you think you'll get it? Here's a few more sample questions. What are the last 5 contractors, or who are the last 5 contractors you've worked with? Which ones did you like or dislike the most? Do you consider yourself to be part of anyone's tribe in the construction industry? There's a whole variety of questions that you need to come up with that can really get to the core emotions that drive someone's purchasing decisions. And again, the reason you want to understand this is so you can craft your marketing messages around those emotions. So get with your team and begin to craft a list of those questions, both from a marketing perspective, a demographic perspective, and then pick up the phone and start to schedule those interviews with either your existing clients or your potential clients. Now, you may have an objection to this. You don't have any time. It feels awkward, or they may say no. Let me go back to the question that I asked earlier in the podcast. Why do construction companies fail to maximize profits? It's because they do marketing the wrong way, and they attract the wrong kinds of clients with the wrong projects in the wrong locations. So if you want to maximize profits, you've got to be able to get very targeted in your marketing. And to get targeted in your marketing, you're looking to create campaigns that increase awareness so that the right clients with the right projects know about your business and want to contact your business. Now, we've talked about how to identify your ideal clients and how to figure out why they buy. Finally, let's talk about how to craft a targeted marketed message to get more ideal clients. This is where we want to tie things all together. And for this particular aspect, I want to focus on 7 aspects of marketing: your niche, the pain and pleasure that your clients are looking to gain or avoid, your solution, your unique selling proposition, objections, proof, and guarantees. And I owe a lot of thanks to a gentleman named Sean D'Souza. He wrote a book called The Brain Audit. I will link to that in the show notes for this portion of the podcast. Okay, so we've talked a lot about that target market. You've got to be able to focus in on that. That's the most important thing that you can get out of this podcast, is understanding your target market and why they buy. That leads you then to the pain and the pleasure that's driving them to engage with contractors and purchase construction services. Then what you want to be able to do is figure out the problems that they're looking to solve and provide them with solutions. And the way you do it is really simple. List all the problems that they're looking to solve by engaging with your construction services, and then simply reverse those problems and provide them with the solutions. So for instance, if the problem they want to avoid is poor quality, the solution is good quality. If the problem they want to avoid is going over budget, the solution is staying under budget. And I know this sounds very simple and perhaps simplistic, but you don't need to overcomplicate your marketing and sales messages. You want to be able to identify the problems that they want to solve and simply reverse those and offer the solutions. The next thing you want to be able to do is identify your unique selling proposition. What are 3 things that make you unique as a construction company? Okay. Now, it's very important that you sit down with your leadership team and begin to brainstorm those things. What are the 3 things that set you apart from other folks? Okay. So think about air travel for a moment. When you think about commercial air travel, what do you think about? Well, I think about expense. It's expensive to travel by air. I think about delays, and I think about it being very, very boring. Now, what do you think about when you think of Southwest Airlines? You think of low fares, you think of on-time arrivals, and you think of a little bit of fun. Okay, now it's really interesting. Southwest understands their business, they understand their marketing message, and they target it to being low fares, on-time arrivals, and fun. And it's interesting because that fun element, it actually has cost them business in the past, where some people don't fly with Southwest because they have too much fun and they think that air travel should be more serious. And that may sound a little bit silly, but I think it's very important. Southwest owns their marketing message. They live out that marketing message, and it attracts some people and it repels others. And that's what the best marketing messages do, by the way. It attracts some people to them and it repels others. For instance, if you've listened to this podcast for any number of episodes, there's something about what I offer and the guests that I bring onto the show that attracts you. Okay. Now there's other people who might listen to 1 or 2 episodes and say, Eric's not my gig. And that's cool because I'm not everybody's gig. I attract some people and I repel others. And it's very important that you as a construction company are willing to take a strong stand in terms of your marketing message and what you communicate, because that will attract the right people. And if your marketing is dialed in, it will repel the wrong people from doing business with you. Okay. Now, let me give you an example from one of my clients as far as their uniqueness. These are the 3 things they came up with. Number 1, world-class safety. Number 2, old world integrity. And number 3, genuine caring for people. world-class safety, old-world integrity, and genuine caring for people. That's what makes them unique. Then what you have to do is you have to figure out what are the objections or the reasons why people won't do business with you or don't do business with you. And let me tell you why this is powerful. If you can think of all the objections that a potential client may have, and then pick, let's say, the top 5 or the top 10. And if you do a really good job interviewing potential clients, by the way, those objections will come out. And you may already know what they are anyway. But the key in any kind of marketing, and this is the best marketing, by the way, is they identify the objections and they seek to overcome them in the marketing message or in the sales message. And the clearer you are on the objections, the more out front you are about them, then people will really begin to build trust with you because they understand that you understand their pain. Because remember, if someone's going to contract with you to do construction, that's going to cost them time. That's a commitment. It's almost like a marriage in a certain way because it's so involved. There's so much risk involved. There's so much money involved. And you have to be really good if you're going to excel at marketing at understanding those objections and doing your best to address and answer those objections up front so that your potential clients are comfortable doing business with you. Okay? So you want to be able to make a note of what those objections are and figure out how you're going to answer those objections and overcome them. The next aspect that you want in terms of tying things all together and really dialing in your marketing message is to get testimonials. Because it's easy for you or for me to go around talking about how great our services are, right? How great your construction is, how you're on time and on budget and high quality and great service. Safety rather. But what you want to be able to do is get that from the word, from the mouth of your clients, people who've actually done business with you. And so I want to encourage you to pick up the phone, and this is the best way I do it. I have 6 questions that I like to ask my clients when I'm getting a testimonial. And by the way, if you'd like those questions, just reach out to me via email, eric@constructiongenius.com, and I'll send you those questions. They're really killer. But what you do is you pick up the phone and you record a call over Zoom, let's say, and you ask your client those 6 questions and you get their answers, and then you draft up a testimonial for them, send them the testimonial draft, have them approve it, and there you have a testimonial. You could even do it via video. And you can post those testimonials on your website, like I post testimonials on my website. Again, go out to Construction Genius, take a surf around there, and you can see the testimonials I have from a variety of clients. But my point is, what people say about your services is way more impactful than what you say about your services. And the best marketing messages have plenty of testimonials interwoven in them so that they build trust and confidence with the people who are checking you out to see if they want to do business with you. Now, the next aspect is this idea of a guarantee or a risk reversal. Now, this is really tough for construction companies, I think. I'll give you an example from my business. For all of my online Construction Genius courses in leadership, in marketing, in sales, I offer a 100% money back guarantee. In other words, if you purchase my course and you go through my course and you don't think that you got a 5 to 10 times return on doing business with me, I just give you your money back. It's never happened, by the way, in all the courses that I've run online, but I give that guarantee because it gives people confidence in light of doing business with me. Now, what can you guarantee to your clients in terms of your construction services? It's kind of tough. And if you can't come up with a specific guarantee, don't let that dissuade you from nailing all the other aspects of this marketing that we're talking about. You can do it based on schedule, you can do it based on quality, or you can do it based on budget, but it can be difficult. Let me give you an example from one of my clients. This is their guarantee. We will finish your project 2 days early, or we will pay double your third-party inspection fees for every day the construction is late. That's a very specific guarantee. Okay, so it's guaranteeing the schedule and it's offering some money back as a result of that. And then it goes on. We guarantee your project will be completely finished. There will be no loose ends and everything will be delivered as you expected. So what you want to do to be able to tie together your marketing message is to craft your message around those 7 things: your niche, the pain and the pleasure that your clients are looking to avoid or to gain, your solutions, your USP or unique selling proposition, those objections, your proof or those testimonials, and then a guarantee. And the very best marketing messages encompass all 7 of those. And then what they do is you take that message and you go out to where your clients are hanging out, either online or in person, and you persistently communicate that message. Okay, let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. Why do construction companies fail to maximize profits? They fail to maximize profits because they do work for the wrong clients, the wrong type of projects, in the wrong locations. And remember, we talked about the funnel, right? Garbage in, garbage out. If you have garbage at the top of your funnel where your marketing and your sales efforts are bringing in the wrong clients and the wrong projects in the wrong locations, you're going to lose money. So to maximize profits, it's really great. It's really simple. What you do is you get the right clients with the right projects in the right locations. And that's what your marketing efforts should be driving towards. Getting that awareness, getting that interest, getting that decision, getting that action. Now, earlier on, I said that those mystery movies are a complete mystery to me, right? The whodunits. I never get the answer to those. And I don't think I ever will. My brain just doesn't work that well. But let me say this, marketing does not have to be a mystery to you, right? We've talked today about how to identify your ideal clients, how to figure out why they buy, and how to craft a targeted marketing message to get more ideal clients. So now it's time for you to get into action. George Patton says this, a good plan violently executed today is far better than a perfect plan executed tomorrow. So what's one thing you're going to take away from this podcast? I encourage you, pick up the phone and start talking to your clients or potential clients about why they buy and get it in their own words and change that into your marketing message. As a bonus, like I said, I'm going to put a link in the show notes to where you can go out and get that construction niche analysis tool. It's a spreadsheet that you can customize specifically for your business so that you can spend some time with your executive team nailing right client, right job, right location. As I'm recording this, I'm actually preparing for doing a marketing mastery course with a number of construction companies online. And if you're interested in a marketing course like that, feel free just to reach out to me and let me know, and I'll put you on the waiting list for the next time we do the course. If you have any questions about marketing and how to do it and how it might impact your construction company in a positive way, of course, reach out to me anytime. My name is Eric Anderton. I really appreciate you listening again to Construction Genius today, and I hope you take this out and use it to improve your marketing efforts and attract the right clients with the right projects in the right locations. Thanks for listening today. Today's episode was brought to you by the Construction Conclave. If you as a construction leader would like to develop your skills and get involved in a community of like-minded construction professionals who are focused on building healthy teams, profitable projects, and long-term successful businesses, then the Construction Conclave is for you. It's a private invitation-only group of construction leaders that are focused on developing their leadership skills. We do training every single month online that looks at how to become a better leader in a very practical, straightforward way. We also have other events that build community and camaraderie so that you can associate with others who are interested in developing their skills as leaders. If you'd like more information and to see if you qualify for participating in the conclave, feel free to reach out to me, eric@ericanderton.com. Thank you for listening to this episode of Construction Genius. Hope you found that 1% of inspiration to help you in the next few days. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes, share it with other construction leaders who you think would benefit, and thanks again for listening.